Okay, we got to talk about SOHCAHTOA, everyone's favourite. But unfortunately, this topic appears in every single GCSE at least once, but it has so many branches into other things. We just have to try to understand SOHCAHTOA. So, what is this all about? When you see a right angled triangle, you should be thinking of two main ideas. Either Pythagoras, where we have two sides and we work out the third, or trigonometry when there's an angle involved. Okay, so as soon as you see an angle in a right angled triangle, you probably have to do SOHCAHTOA. Once that angle is present and in play, we can then label the three sides of the triangle. The hypotenuse is the longest one, the diagonal. It's always opposite the right angle like this. So if it's rotated around, you can use that to help. The opposite side is opposite the angle. And then the adjacent is in between the angle and the right angle. Usually people just kind of do these two first because they're easy to spot, and then the adjacent is the one left over. Fine. When you're doing SOHCAHTOA, two of the three will be involved in the question. One of them will be completely blank. Like the opposite might be missing, but they might ask you to find this length. So then it's involved in the question. Okay, and one of them will be not even mentioned, won't have a number on it, and it won't be something you have to go away and find. So let's assume that we have these two sides. Let's come up with some numbers like 6 centimeters for this, and the hypotenuse is the one we have to try to find. Okay, your first job is to label these up and then identify from SOHCAHTOA which one we're actually dealing with. Because there's no A involved, we can eliminate this one and this one because they both had the adjacent in there. And that's the power of this SOHCAHTOA. It helps you to identify which one we're actually dealing with. So in this case, it's SOH, okay? And when I write these in the exam, at first, I like to do it like this. So S equals O divided by H. K would look like this, and TOA would look like this. So if you rewrite it like this can help you with your first line of working, which actually gives you a mark. We haven't done anything yet that's actually given us any marks. Okay, so what does this S, C, and T stand for? If you get your calculator, you might be able to see the sin, cos, tan, sine, cosine, and tangent functions on our calculator, buttons. And they are what we're going to use to help us find the missing thing, in this case, the hypotenuse. So sin, cos, tan, when I press one of those buttons, they always have a brackets, okay? The calculator will open the brackets for us. And so when I write it like this, and we've decided it's this one because it's O and H, so it's sine, we write sine or sin brackets. And inside those brackets always goes the angle. So we're going to put the 30 degrees. You don't have to put the degrees in. That's inside the brackets. Then equals, then O, 6, divided by H. That's the thing we're trying to find. You can leave it as H. I like to use X because I'm going to use my calculator in a second to really help me with SOHCAHTOA. Okay, now I just have to change the settings on here because it defaults to a different angle type, so that's kind of annoying. But you won't have to do that. So sine 30, we're just going to copy this onto our calculator with the alpha equals button. And the equals will be appearing on the screen. I can do 6 over hypotenuse, which is the x that I'm trying to find. So use x if it's something you're not that you don't know. And then when I press shift solve, ignore this. This was just the last answer my calculator found. Okay, I'm just going to press equals, and I get 12. X equals 12 with this L minus R screen. I've done a video on this on my YouTube channel, Bowtie Teacher, if you want to check that out. But I'm going to assume that you know how to solve an equation with the calculator, because I can now put X, which is the hypotenuse, is equal to 12. I can stick that in the answer box in the exam, and that will help me with the next part, because I can't just leave this blank and go straight to here. Like, that's a bit fishy. So now I have to decide how to get 12 from these two things. Okay, now there's only 2 or 3 possibilities. I either times them together, sine 30 times 6. No, that didn't give me 12. I can divide them. If I times them the other way around, that's the same thing. So I either times them together, that's one option. I can divide them. Make sure you close the brackets. 1 over 12. Bit closer, but not quite right. Let's flip it upside down. 6 sine 30 on the bottom. Yes, that's the one that the calculator gives me. So all I have to do now is write in here 6 divided by sine 30. 6 divided by sine 30. That is my x. Okay, so the calculator gives me the answer. I just have to try the different combinations to see which one gives me 12. If I'm not confident about rearranging this, you know, this x kind of goes up here and the sine 30 is divided under there. Like, there are some hacks that you can use for this, but the calculator will give us the answer, and then we just try a few combinations to get that middle bit of working. But we have to have this first line, and this is the part that students really struggle with, is generating this first line of working. So I'm just going to do another example where instead of this, we're going to give you the hypotenuse. Let's say that's 20, and the angle in here could be 60, just to change it up a bit. And now we have to find the opposite. Okay. Oh, actually, we'll change it to adjacent, just to use a different trig function here. So we need the adjacent. Okay. A and H is cosine. So we do cos off our calculator, brackets. The angle goes in here, 60, then equals A, that's the thing I'm trying to find, so I'm going to call that x, divided by the hypotenuse, which is 20. Okay, so I use this little A, instead of CAH, just like that, I put the equals and the A divided by H. It's always the second divided by the third letter to help me with my first line of working, because then I can go here, cos 60 alpha equals x over 20. Sorry, did I miss out brackets? Oh, so shift solve, sorry, shift solve, and then press equals, and we get x equals 10. Okay, so x equals 10 is our answer. And now I need to decide, is it a divide, is it a times, or is it the other divide? So I'm just going to times them. 20 times cos 60. Oh, okay, I hit it the first time. 20 times cos 60. Okay, if it wasn't that, I would try 20 over cos 60. No. Or I'd try cos 60 over 20. No. So yeah, so that's my they're my options. We either divide, we flip it upside down and try that divide, or we times them together. So there's three possibilities. So now I've got my 20 times cos 60. That gives me my answer, and then I'm done like that. Okay, now I wish we could finish it there, but unfortunately we also have this type of question where we have two of the sides. Oops, let's just rub these out. So two of the sides are given to us, and we actually have to find the angle. So I'm going to do 5 centimeters here, 5 centimeters here, and we have to find the angle. Okay, now we can use theta, which a lot of people use for a missing angle, or we can use x. Okay, it's totally up to you, but you might see theta, that Greek symbol, in exams, so I'm just gonna mention that at this stage. But we're just going to go through the same process. Opposite the angle, between the angle and the right angle, there's a hypotenuse. It's not involved. So this one is tan. So our first line, tan brackets angle equals opposite over adjacent. Okay, now something strange going on here because I usually have the angle involved, but I'm still going to put this into my calculator. Tan x, alpha equals 5 over 5, and then shift solve. 45. So the calculator's chucked out an answer of 45 degrees. Okay, how do I actually get that number? Because last time it was times or divide. That's not the case when you're trying to reverse the process and find the angle itself. When you want to find the angle, you have to use this button, tan -1 or cos -1 or sine -1, which is found by pressing the shift tan button. So the shift tan, shift sine, shift cos is when we're trying to find the angle. And inside the brackets goes this fraction here. Okay, so the shift tan and then the fraction goes in there. There's your 45 degrees. So I know there's a lot there. Labeling up the sides, identifying whether it's sin, cos, tan, and then this first line of working, put in your calculator, all the rearranging that you have to do. But that is why it's so challenging. But we know it's coming. So if you're prepared and you know it's coming and you know these little tricks that can help you to at least get at some of the marks, you're going to be doing so much better than a lot of the people that you're sitting the GCSE with. And that will put you higher in the rankings and give you a better chance of meeting your goals.